My name is Robert Martinez, and I'm running for Associated Student President. I'm running by myself, and I believe students should vote for me because I have experience. I've been in student government for a year now. I actually was just appointed as the Vice President of Diversity Affairs yesterday, but I have been a non-voting member or an assembly member for a year. So I've had experience. I've had trainings when it comes to parliamentary procedure. For those of you who don't know what parliamentary procedure is, it is what the student government runs their meetings by. So when we have a meeting with 10 people, it's not just one person leading in and everyone can just start talking whenever they want. We have rules and procedures, and so I've gone to at least 5 trainings with full-on professionals who are full-on parliamentarians, and I've had full-on trainings with them and throughout the state. And I'm also in the state student government. So the SSJC, the Student Senate for California Community Colleges, it's broken down into 10 regions. We are in Region 3, the Bay Area essentially, and I'm the Region 3 Disability Affairs Officer. So I have an understanding of what it takes for our local community to get things done, and I also have an understanding and have experience getting things done at a wider state level. I have gone to the state capitol and lobbied for bills. I lobbied for AB 1995, which is a bill that was actually just passed, and it grants access to showers, or grants shower access to those who go through homelessness and housing insecurity. So it's something I went and fought for because I knew students here were affected by that. There's roughly 800 students who who go through homelessness, and that's a very conservative number. If you think about housing insecurity, it's more like in the thousands. And so I'm going to keep that in mind, and I'm going to continue to advocate for those issues. And just as a point of what I'm doing right now, I'm actually, I created an event which is called Between Homes, and it's going to bring awareness to homelessness in our community and bring awareness to the different resources we have for those who go through homelessness in our community. So I am vice chair in the on the Codes Committee, the Students on Committees Council, and I'm also the chair of the Disability Affairs Ad Hoc Committee, which I asked the student government to create. So I feel like I have good experience chairing, so I know how to run a meeting, how to lead a meeting, and I'm also the president of the St. Joseph Church Men's Club, and I've been president since the beginning of 2016. So I've had over a year of experience in running a meeting. So I understand what it takes, when people kind of start to talk for a while, kind of like I just did earlier. So I kind of understand okay, let's talk. Next person, I understand the concept of making sure that the minority opinion is heard, because in a lot of times people will just focus on the majority opinion, and since the majority gets the vote, you need to listen to the minority voice. And whatever that may be, whatever the minority voice may be in that specific meeting and that topic. And so that's something I look to focus on and make sure that I am aware of that. And also just I have experience, again, as a chair, and that's helped me be nonpartisan, I guess, or just, make sure that I stay in between and just mediate. And just kind of, not give my opinion as much and just kind of focus on what the body wants. And it's helped me create this opinion of where, yes, the president, if elected president, I would have, in some ways, the president has more power than any one member. But the body as a whole has more power than the president and can disappoint the president if need. And I believe in telling that to people, yes, even though I may have a certain amount of power or influence as president, you will always have more as a body, and that is always your choice to influence that. And the experience I've gone through throughout this year has really helped me kind of learn and mold with that. Well, I've learned again, just learning how to not voice your opinion sometimes, and how to keep your opinion to yourself, and that's something I've learned. And being time sensitive, he focuses on that, and so I've learned that as well from watching him chair meetings for the past almost year. Being sensitive to people's time, so sometimes someone will come in to do a presentation, and he'll be like, okay, well, can we skip to this specific time? because they have to leave. So he's very, he keeps that in mind, and that's something I would like to do as president. So as the current VP of Diversity, I have that in mind, and as a person with disabilities myself, I understand what it feels like to be marginalized for whatever minority group you're in. Now, obviously, just because I have disabilities and I'm marginalized for that does not mean I know what a woman of color goes through, what an undocumented student goes through, because I'm not undocumented. So I would work with the VP of Advocacy and Diversity, because those are the two positions that would mainly focus on that, and I would make sure that they had all the support and help without micromanaging, because the president has to oversee everything, and he or she have to make sure that everything's going well. But I would make sure that those two positions had all the support that I could give them and give them guidance and stuff like that. And I'm also working on creating another student lounge that would also serve as a student center. And I would hope to create that as a safe space for students to study. I've actually been talking to different people within the community, and I'm looking to get, it would be nice if the Peers Coalition was there. Because if they were there in the student lounge, it'd be great for people like that, very welcoming people, for you to come into a student lounge. You feel welcome, you can talk about whatever problems you may have. And also, another thing as far as mental health goes, I chair the Disability Affairs Ad Hoc Committee, and through that committee I'm actually trying to get dogs onto campus and therapy dogs onto campus, because there are a lot of people who suffer from different types of anxiety or PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, whether you're a veteran or you went through some other trauma. I've seen dogs really help people. My dog helps me all the time. She's amazing. And I'm working with the Psychological Services Department that's through Student Health Services. I'm trying to work with them so we can have a dog in their office. It's still tentative, not sure yet. But that would be really great. So even if students don't have mental health disorders, they can still go and pet a dog. Finals are stressful. So it'd be cool to go pet a dog, and it's a nice, safe environment. I'm kind of I want to hit the ground running, and so I will help as much as possible to lead the march that will hopefully go on. That's about rent stabilization. So that will be an immediate impact, is I will push for rent stabilization. Now, that's not the key. It's not the last thing we do, because a lot of economists and people say that it's not just rent stabilization. You need more homes. If people are going through homelessness, you need more homes to put people to locate people to. So that would be the first thing, is rent stabilization. That way people can stay in their apartments, their houses as of right now. And then that's just kind of the immediate kind of just hoping to, immediately fix something that's not a complete fix. And then to make a bigger impact would be, I'm working on finding out how we can get student housing. And if we can get student housing, then, and we can make it an affordable housing, it will, the market should, how do you say, it would kind of level out, because if if our apartments were $1,000, right, just a random number, if they were $1,000, then it would level out those apartments that were $1,500, because they would have to work around us, because a lot of students, oh, I'm not going to go to you, I can afford that, I can barely live off over here, I can actually afford that and afford other things now. And then people we have to lower our prices, and hopefully it will start a trickle effect. And so, I guess, not best words, but it will start an effect. And so that is another, hopefully, immediate effect I'd like to have. I would say our undocumented student population is facing a tremendous, or just suffering right now because of our current administration after these elections. So many students have dropped out of fear of leaving their, fear of being taken out of their homes. And I have loved ones who are undocumented, so I couldn't even imagine them just getting ripped away from me like that, with no warning, just them leaving, being taken away, not even leaving, being taken away. So I see that as the biggest thing that students go through right now, and also homelessness, like I've been talking about. Again, 800 students, and that's a very conservative number. So many students go through homelessness or housing insecurity because of the housing is just so expensive. I know people who had an $1,100 budget and were still homeless. That is ridiculous. That should not happen. So society is doing something wrong, so we need to fix that.
So,
as far as Petaluma campus, we need a dream center, which we have here. For those of you who don't know what a dream center is, it is, from my understanding, essentially a place where students can go and receive certain accommodations and certain things that they may need to learn their rights when it comes to what rights they have as a person here. So that is something that they need in Petaluma campus. Also, I think bringing more awareness, more resources. I would like to work with the Undocumented Student Union, and because they're a club here on campus, and who I believe Jordan, who you mentioned, he actually helped create that club, if I remember correctly. And I would like to work with them because I'm not undocumented, so my personal philosophy is if you don't go through your problem, you do not know how to fix it until you talk to those people. So I would love to talk to people who are undocumented and be like, what do you want to see done? Like, I'm not going to just assume I know best because, of some reason. No, I'm going to go to you and ask you, what do you need? How can I help you? And then I will. I personally believe that if you are not being openly hateful towards someone, you have a right to think what you think. That may not be a popular opinion, but if you're not openly saying something that's racist or whatever it may be, then I think you deserve the same kind of respect that everyone else deserves. And so I would work to help make this campus safe for everyone, for people in the LGBTQ community, and people who support the current president. Even though I may disagree with some of the reasons why they voted for the current president, at the end of the day, they're still if I'm voted, they're still my constituents. I'm not just gonna want to represent the 78%. I'm gonna want to represent everybody. I want to represent people who disagree with me, people who agree with me. I want to work and also educate. I would like to come back here and teach history. So I want to help educate people, see why they supported him, and then maybe I can help break some stereotypes that they may have, help break some ideas that they may have because they just didn't know any better. Sometimes it's not hate, it's just not knowing any better sometimes. If we implicate any type of safe space, safe place, such as if we had a student lounge, right? If we created a new student lounge, which I would like to see that be in Pioneer, where the current bookstore is. So if that were the student lounge and that was dedicated, safe place, that wouldn't just be for one group. That would be for everyone, as long as everyone is being respectful of each other. Once you stop being respectful, it doesn't matter what group you come from. Once you stop being disrespectful, then it's not safe anymore, and then we would ask you to leave. It doesn't matter which group you come from. If you're a Trump supporter, if you're not, if you're creating that not to be a safe space, whoever you are, I would ask you to leave. But if you're not, if you're being respectful, then please come in, relax, study, and that is one of the things I would do. I would personally say that I would like to talk with the dean of counseling. Right now it's Marty Lee, but he's the interim dean. There would be a new dean, I believe, by the beginning of my term if I were elected. So I would talk to that dean and see what the specific protocol is with what you're supposed to say, what you're not supposed to say, and then I would try and smooth it out and be have a common thing of what everyone has the same information. That way a student who goes to counselor A and another student goes to counselor B get the same information, have the same things, and that way everyone is prepared as we can make them. So being a history major, I've looked into the past of the student government, and there actually was a dedicated spot in every agenda in the 60s, and it was a long time ago, but where the Oak Leaf would make reports about what's going on, different things they want to see from student government. So I would actually have a dedicated spot in the agenda for the Oak Leaf to give reports. And I believe it's the role of news to keep the government honest, especially student government, because I see it student government's role to make sure the administration's honest, and I see it as your role to make sure that I am honest and do what is need to be done. So also it's the student government's job to keep me honest, but I would love to see y'all at the meeting every Monday from 3 to 5. I mean, everyone's busy, so I get that, and I know you've tried to make it. And I would love to see the Oak Leaf there. It will help create more unity. And I see that if there's unity between the student government and Oak Leaf, things can get passed along better. Like if we have events, you're there when we're planning the events. You know exactly what's being said, what's not being said. So because of my disability, I don't read too much. Because reading gives me headaches. So, I remember. The Rolling Bears Power Soccer. Ian, the president of that club, is a friend of mine, and so I really was happy to see that there was an article, and I believe it was front page. And as former assembly member of Disability Affairs, I love to see that we are promoting people with disabilities who are moving forward with their goals and their dreams in society. So and that's something that's not typically promoted. So I was very happy to see that. I feel like I have the experience, the knowledge, and what it takes to be president. There are a lot of things I want to see done, but one of the big things is communication. I see a lack of communication just on campus, just how it happens. I see a lot of community colleges go through the same thing. Like I said, I'm also in the state student government, so I see it throughout the state. It's not just something that's just us. But I would like to help that, and I would like to help students feel safe, to feel like they're not alone. I hate feeling like I'm alone. So if I can help one or a group of students who feel alone, feel oppressed, then I will walk away feeling like I did something. Thank you.